Alright, hello and welcome. So, today we're going to talk about universal vacuum and the changes that could happen, what we have now, and some better changes, I think, in kind of a more metered way, like a progression of, like, not good, well, not necessarily not good, not as good as the ones that are below. So, the first one is what they suggested at the end of the dev stream. We got the notes. They want to split Carrier's vacuum into 3 mods that could be used on all Sentinels into, like, basically mods, ammo, and energy. No. First of all, that's shit. That's garbage shit. That's worse than just having 1 mod on Carrier and then having us use Carrier, because then you're just making 3 required mods for us, those of us that want to fucking use vacuum, and you're just clogging up, like, all of our Sentinel slots. So there, you might as well not change it at that point. And like it does give us like a little bit of choice, but there are way better ways to do that. That's awful. Worse than just having it on only Carrier. That is absolutely an abysmal choice. Having it on only Carrier, as we know, makes Carrier the most used companion by a pretty fucking large margin. It's a quality of life improvement. It can't be beaten by damage or CC, barring a companion that comes out that just completes the mission for you, which would be fucking lame. You're not... It's not... There's nothing you can do. It just makes the game more fun, and that's incredibly difficult to beat. So, the step up from that is that all companions just have the vacuum mod. It's not a truly universal vacuum, and you're creating a required mod across like all companions by doing this. But it does incentivize players to have a companion with them at all times, which is fine. I personally think that players are already incentivized to have a companion at all times because it's just better than not, kind of always. So that one doesn't really... that one seems kind of meh to me. But that's better than just having it only on Carrier. And you do get the choice of not having it or having it, which is fine. And then there's the step up from that, which I think is the truly universal vacuum. And this means that vacuum is no longer a mod. It just becomes a thing that Warframes do. If you're playing Warframe, and well, barring certain situations, if you are in a Warframe, then it's just a passive that you have. You just suck up items. The problem with this solution is that the problem arises with the players that don't want vacuum. And there are players, I know, it might seem a little weird to some people, there are players that don't want, like, certain aspects of vacuum, so they forego vacuum entirely. So, it doesn't solve the problem for those players and makes those players unhappy. And obviously, we should want a solution to make everybody happy, or as many people as we possibly can. But, with the people that want universal vacuum, I think, are not really considering those people, and I think that's the solution, the true universal, is what most people would just immediately suggest. And there are problems with that. So, my suggestion is the ideal universal vacuum. Now, this would be a passive on all Warframes. Mostly what the true universal would be. But, then this is more work for DE, but I think it's work worth doing. You would have, in your options menu, you'd have your item vacuum menu. And you would go into that menu, and you'd have all the items that you can have vacuum pick up, and you toggle them on or off. It's fully customizable. You can toggle them all off. You can toggle just like 1 or 2 on. It's very, very like straightforward. I don't think it's confusing for like players at all. And it would just be an improvement. Like it's just I don't see how anyone could be unhappy with a change like that, where you could just go in and be like, oh, I'm playing such and such character. I don't want to pick up energy orbs at a larger range because I need to manage that more closely. Okay, just toggle energy off. Boom, you have the perfect vacuum for your given situation. Want the energy again? Toggle it back on. It's very simple. You give players tons of choice in how they want to customize their item vacuum, and it's just an improvement overall. Like, you make everyone happy. It doesn't need a mod slot. It doesn't become a required mod. Like, everyone's got it. It's fully customizable. You can turn it completely off if you want to. I don't see a downside to that. The only downside I see to that is more work for DE. Which, like I said, I think it's work that's worth doing. But yeah, that's my opinion and like kind of what I see as the problems with a lot of the solutions. Like the top one, obviously what they suggested after the dev stream, that's not a solution. That makes the problem worse. But I think that like the sliding scale, and like there are some in-between points where you could go with this, like having it be like the ideal universal vacuum, but it's attached to companions instead of warframes. Like there's ways that you can do that that I think would be fine. Like if they wanted to incentivize companions, they could just have it be like the item vacuum is just attached inherently to all companions instead. There's good half steps, and I think there's like this ideal universal vacuum. I don't see a downside to it. I would love someone to tell me something I haven't thought of that makes that not a thing that would be good, but I feel like that's the solution right now, and I really hope I'm right, and I really hope that's what we get, because I think that this change, more so than people probably realize it, affects the player base at large in a way that matters more than it seems like it does. Because it's like 80% plus of players using this constantly. And if they change it and make it worse, that's not... that's really bad. So I really hope that it just gets done right. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.